Hey there, gorgeous. My name is Melissa, and I am also known as the Taropist, and I am going to be your tarot card reader. Guys, we are going to do a full size love reading today for the collective. This can resonate for any placement of any sign at any time, and this can be anywhere from single to married and anywhere in between, just whomever you have on that pretty little mind of yours. Guys, we are going to get the energy that you bring to the connection that you have on your mind, the energy that the person that you have on your mind brings, and then a potential outcome as well. Because this is just energy that I'm picking up on, you are certainly welcome to reverse the roles of you and your person. And the outcome is always potential due to this same reason. Any decisions that you would ever make in your third dimensional reality are ultimately going to shape your physical reality. Okay. This means that just because the energy is there and available doesn't mean that you're going to take advantage of it. And in order to create the story that comes through here, you will need to take action towards these opportunities. Okay. This isn't going to resonate for everyone. I almost said anyone, but it is going to resonate for someone. Guys, if you would like me, I do channel information. So if you'd like me to be more likely to pick up on your specific situation in my collective readings, make sure that you are engaging with the channel in some way so that we can transfer energy. Some easy ways that you can engage with the channel are by liking or commenting on any of the videos or the community tab posts as well. You can certainly share any of my content. And my personal favorite, and I believe the most powerful way for us to exchange energy, is by you clicking the little subscribe button below. If you are going to subscribe to the channel, guys, and you would like to be notified when I do upload or go live, by the way, I'll be live tonight, make sure that you're going to hit that little bell notification icon to all, okay? Now, the most powerful way, of course, for me to pick up on your energy is going to be by way of personal readings, and any information that you would need on those are listed in the description box below, as well as the email address you would send the questions to and the PayPal and Cash App that you would make the payment to. And I think that's about it, guys. Let's get into this reading. We're going to start out with these dream guidance love messages just to catch a little vibe on the connection that we have on the mind here. Again, this can't resonate for everyone, but I have noticed that when you do subscribe to the channel or comment or engage with the channel in any way, and the more ways that you engage, the more potent the energy exchange is, and the more likely it will be for me to pick up on your personal situation. Okay, guys, we have my love to you is unconditional and genuine. There's quite a few that came out here, and I am going to take them. I escape when I feel close to you. So this does feel like sort of running from vulnerability situation. Can we take it slow? Somebody does want to take action, it feels like, but not very quickly. This person has been hurt before, it feels like. And I regret hurting you. Oh, okay. So I want to say that somebody hurt the other unintentionally or inadvertently by way of running from the connection here, or running from this kind of powerful feeling. And then I am not your option. Is that what that says? You guys, my eyes. Yeah. I can sense the spiritual connection is under that. We're just going to take them all. Okay. There it is. Now it fills in the little blank, anyways. Okay, guys, let's get into the tarot here. Second to none, you got the upper hand now. That's Justin Bieber, guys, and that's coming through for you. Second to none, you got the upper hand now. Okay, we've got in the first spot, so your energy, the 10 of Wands here, and the person you have on your mind's energy, the Empress card. We're going to get a potential outcome. Of course, again, you guys, you can always reverse these roles. If this feels more like their energy, this feels more like yours. I am going to refer to the first position as you, though, okay? We got the Empress card in their energy, and then the, ooh, I love that outcome there. And the overarching energy I also love is the World card. So anytime, guys, in a love connection, that there is the major arcana in the overarching energy of the love connection, it is referring to it being a very deep and spiritual connection. Now, a deep and spiritual connection doesn't always mean that this is going to be your life partner. I want to say with the World card, it certainly feels like it could be. And it certainly feels like this could be something that is, why do I want to say culturally in inter intercultural? I don't even know what that means. Okay, so this could be something about this could be because the World card is here, this could be literally somebody in a different country, definitely of a different culture. Something about breaking down the conditions of cultural differences or something. I don't know. This is huge. So it feels like a divine counterpart. Okay, guys, it's not like I don't know. What I do know is, and if we get the lovers card, I won't be surprised. But what I'm talking about here is a divine counterpart relationship where there might be a difference in culture, religion, race, ethnicity, nationality. You may be in different countries, or what it is controversial. Comings together. Okay, I don't even know what I'm saying here. It's the weirdest way that things are being worded that are coming through me here, but it is talking about this shift in humanity that is happening at this time by way of some very tragic situations. And this has been going on for the entirety of creation, right? Where unfortunately devastating things need to happen for a shift to happen, for us to shift in a more positive direction. Sometimes very negative things need to occur, and that's what this is talking about here. But the connection, because we are in a love reading, of course this is talking about all the things that are happening on a global level, and the shift that is occurring, and then these counterparts that are coming in to kind of assist in this evolution of humanity. Okay, no pressure, but guys, the lovers card is on the bottom of this deck, and we're not going to take it because it didn't pop out or anything, but it probably will because I was literally just talking about it. And with the lovers card, for me, is about choosing with our hearts, right? And about how this world has been conditioned and taught to choose from a more egotistical standpoint, or a surface level situation, a head over heart decisions. By the way, good choices, good orderly direction, also known as God, is the way to create a peaceful existence between all living things, including our just ourself, right? Within ourself is like making good choices, disciplined action, or something like that. Let me get more because there's a lot of interesting stuff coming through. But the Ten of Wands in your energy. So the World card, by the way, is about creating or completing, I want to say, a cycle. And I do want to bring in the Wheel of Fortune to that as well. By the way, this could be any fixed sign here. The World card can represent, and then the Wheel of Fortune does represent Jupiter, so Sagittarius or Pisces. Okay, that can be one of your signs. Uh-oh, we are gonna turn that off. I'm so sorry, you guys. And if this lady calls me one more time, I swear to God. Okay. So the overarching energy, the world card is about a completion of a cycle, right? And I want to say that you guys are helping to complete a lifelong or many centuries, or I want to say decades, or so long of where we've been choosing with our heart, our head over our heart, right? Because that does seem to be good orderly direction. But I want to say there's a difference between choosing with your heart and choosing with your damage, and people do confuse the two very often because our heart isn't actually confused. What is confusing is the damage that we've endured, whether it be in this lifetime or generations past. Okay, your energy. The Ten of Wands is about carrying the weight of the world, right? The world here, it's kind of again getting very, it feels very synchronistic. This all feels so spiritual and beautiful. But it is talking about you finally letting down the weight of the world or the world's conditioning. Okay, something about that. And then look at the world in her stomach. Oh my God, I can't. I'm gonna cry here, you guys. But she does represent the sacral chakra or Venus energy. She does actually represent the planet Venus, which does rule the sign of Taurus and the sign of Libra. Of course, there could be Taurus, Libra, any fixed sign, Sagittarius, and Pisces we already have here. But if you can't feel the profound energy in all of this world, this isn't something, this connection isn't coming in just to connect, just to lay next to each other, just to cuddle, just to kiss, even just to procreate, which I do feel like you're going to do, by the way. But this is about helping all of creation enter into a new frequency here, shifting into the new world. Okay. Who are you? Okay, it feels so divided and so spiritual. And then we do have this Six of Cups in the potential outcome here, which of course we all know represents a soulmate or a past life. This is like, I want to say, the Martin Luther King's, the all the different martyrs of the world, right? Coming together, these energies that have been coming through, and these powerful people for many years, coming together as a connection to help the world shift into the right frequency or the right direction. Okay, something about this. And we're going to get more on your energy. And again, of course, this is about letting go of the weight of the world to effectively help the world shift into this new frequency, right? I want to give some credit to Charlie Kirk. While I don't agree with everything that he said, being daring enough to go against the grain or against what the masses, especially those that are I'm not going to call any particular party, but I want to say that there are a lot of damaged by way of generational wounding. And then, of course, just our own specific upbringing, right? That has created some psychological damage in us that kind of creates this very triggered, very violent or vile. I'm not saying these people are bad people. I'm saying these people have been very hurt, right? So going against people that have been very hurt to try to help them in a way that makes it's like I want to say this is what keeps coming through for me because I've always been, and I don't love bringing politics into my readings, but I've always been on the left or no, called myself a Democrat, right? The last time that I did vote, I voted Democrat, and it was for Hillary Clinton. And then my awakening started. And then it started to be very clear to me that the reason why I was leaning towards democracy was because I wanted to be able to do the things that I was doing that went against good, orderly direction. Okay. I hope this is making sense for you because I do feel like whatever you have to share with the world is not going to necessarily sit right with those of us that are still damaged and trying to work our way through these triggers and this psychological wounding that we've endured. Okay. I want to say, by the way, that just because I am no longer a Democrat, I am not a Republican. However, this keeps coming through that maybe we all need daddy. Like I think a lot of us on the left or a lot of us that call ourselves liberals or Democrats have lived been raised without a father figure in our home, and I feel like a Republican or the Republican Party is the daddy that we all needed. Okay, I want to say that because somebody needs to teach us in a very honest and open way, sometimes seemingly cold way, that we need to make better choices. And this is what's coming through. I want to say that you might be that Democrat or that Republican, right? Or you might be coming into this where people see Republicans as cold hearted or mean. And there are some, by the way, on every single side. And there's good and evil in all ways, in all areas, right? A lot of the evil, I want to say, on the left comes from not just straight evil, but from damage, psychological wounding. I did not mean for this to be such a political reading, but it does feel like there's going to be a lot of politics in this connection, right? That you guys are going to fight the kind of conditioned ways of the world together. So you, in a general sense, I feel you might be on the left, and there might be this connection coming in, or you awakening to the reality that the reason why the left doesn't like the right is because the left would like to get away with continuing behaviors that are not conducive to their own well-being or the well-being of others. Okay, I hope this makes sense for you. I'm going to get more on your energy because I really do want to focus on this love connection. It does feel like you could be in the public eye, by the way, and not sharing whatever it is you're meant to be sharing from a truly authentic place. Okay, because I think you're still encountering some of this indoctrination that you've encountered or endured. Okay, let's get more. It's like I'm not. I want to say this. I'm getting this. I'm not going to fight your indoctrination with mine. Okay, like my indoctrination is not going to fight yours, or something like that. I always do this reading on at this time of day when the recycling guy gets here. Um. Okay, guys, we did get with that last comment, I'm not going to fight your indoctrination with mine. Then we do get this religious leader, right? You might be a religious leader, by the way, and you might be very highly into religious practice. And I'm just going to say that I am very much spiritual, but I have never been religious. I never wanted the way that we connect with our creator to be given a set of rules on how we connect. I want to say that in order to stay connected, there has to be no distraction or no disconnection, which is a lot of the things like that we call sin. It's like God isn't mad at you for doing those things, but unfortunately, those things slowly disconnect you from the connection with Him, right? Him, her, the sun, okay, creation. There is a disconnect that is created by the kind of, I want to say, escapes that we have created to I want to say, escape the pain of reality is also the very things that are going to disconnect us from the creator. Okay. So it's not that the divine or God wants us to not sin. He wants our energy to be untainted and more powerful. Okay. I hope that makes sense. It has nothing to do with what is wrong or right. It has to do with what will disconnect you and what won't, and what will help you connect, something like that. So you have two pages now in your energy, and the page of wands, or I mean, the page of cups and the page of swords. You could be a Taurus. You could be any air sign, any water sign. Taurus is pretty heavy here. Um, and of course, these placements can be anywhere. I just like to bring up the signs. Okay, so because they're saying something about the way that you're sharing things with the world is coming from a conditioned, or I want to say a safe place, right? Like you want them to be safe. You want people to be safe. And unfortunately, is not the truth is safe. It's true safety, but it's not going to coddle or cater to the wounded ego. Okay. I hope that makes sense for you. So there is something about you needing to be more authentic or more vulnerable or more less indoctrinated is the actual energy that's coming through. And I don't know how to do that. I mean, I know that there's something that you believe that you keep allowing the world to tell you isn't true. And then you think that it isn't, or you think that your perspective. I want to, okay, because let me get more about your partner here. So you do have the high priest in your energy. You certainly could be the masculine in this situation, and they do have the divine feminine in their energy. Oof. It's a little bit heavy, guys. So in their energy, they have the Empress card, which again represents kind of like, I want to say, the creation, or the kind of like the root of all things, right? So let me just get more here. Then the Seven of Swords, which I think we all know is some people call it like lying, cheating, stealing, but it's the card is actually representative of withholding information, right? I'm getting this same thing, like the person that you have in your mind here. And of course, this could just be you, by the way. This doesn't even have to be a love connection, because they're talking about the need or the severity of being truly authentic or sharing completely from one's own perspective. It's like you've been given a higher perspective. The two of you have been given a higher perspective, but are afraid to share it with the world for several reasons. One, because it's hard to decipher what is, because being able to receive new information and change your perspective is important here. However, it's like you are confusing that with information you're being directly downloaded by the divine. Um, so not indoctrinated information. This is real, raw information that again goes against most of what the world can see, what they've been indoctrinated to believe. Because I this is such a touchy subject right now in your reading, because it's like you're having a hard time deciding whether your perspective or the perspective of the world is correct. And you're like, well, I can see that. I can see that. So it's like I love this about you, by the way. And it's talking about you and your person both having this very similar energy, right? Where this is sort of the curse of being empathic, is being able to see all perspectives, and knowing that, just because this is the truth for someone, that might be the truth for another, but there is an actual truth in all of it as well. And just because the perspectives of others may differ, the truth remains the same, I want to say, right? And this is all very heavy and very powerful stuff, but it's like you're avoiding, or your person, or the two of you are avoiding uncomfortable truths, because you understand and respect the perspective of those who see things differently. This is so interesting, but it's saying that in order for you to do the work And it's like there are people are going to need to be uncomfortable. The truth isn't comfortable for a lot of people, especially when the truth is that we all need to make better choices for ourselves if we want our realities to change, and that nobody else, not one other human, is actually in charge of the way that we live our lives today, unless we are imprisoned physically. It's important to remove ourselves from the prison mentally. Okay. Well, it's important to move practically and strategically. There is something about needing to go from we'll see if the Lovers card comes out for the very last card here, but there is something about needing to choose with the way that you're hearing things from the divine, not things that you've heard before. And sometimes when we've heard things in the entirety of our lives, let's say you're 30 years old, right? 30 years, you've heard many things that you can't remember on a conscious level, but you have filed them away subconsciously. So sometimes it's hard to know even that, like, what am I downloading directly from the divine and what is coming back from subconscious memory? Oh, wow, this is so much deeper than I was prepared for at this time. Okay. That, the weight of the world. The Empress card came out again, by the way. Such a powerful connection that you have here. Such powerful people with a powerful purpose. Again, to help the world elevate. This is the minor arcana version of the world card. Here is the world card. We did have the Wheel of Fortune under that, but we also got it in your potential outcome. The amount of spiritual power here is unmatched. So, and then the Empress again there, and in your person's energy, again, it's talking about the way that you guys are here to help the world see the reality that God created rather than the one man created. In order to do that, you have to let down the weight of what man thinks of you, because again, when you're trying to kind of, I want to say revert. I don't know if that is the right word, but trying to convert or something people from this fake or matrix reality into the reality that was we were destined or designed to live within. Now, does this mean we're all going to be living in tribes out on the land? I want to say yes. By the way, at some point, it will go back to a more um, real way of being, because the truth is that we are completely disconnected from God, the creator of all things, because we were meant to live out in a world that was created by God, not in these little man-made caves, okay, that disconnect us from that energy source, from the sun itself, which I think is God. That is my own personal the moon and the sun, the luminaries are our gods. And of course, the planets in general. I think that we are all connected to these planets for a reason. I think they're the gods of different things. Of course, we know that the sun itself is the god of our flesh, and then the moon, I believe, is the god of our soul. And I don't. I said, of course, we all know this. No, I don't think we all know this. These downloads have been coming through me for many years, and then I started realizing that that connects to the astrological beliefs of astrologers. And I'm going, wow, this is really kind of powerful that we're all like getting into that right now, because I think this is the real connection to God. So while I don't think religious practice is the necessarily the way to go, I think the way that we connect with God or the creator, and should be up to each one of us. However, the truth, and I was saying this earlier, that there's perspective differences and then there's the truth. And the one real truth that God wanted me to know and wanted me to share with the world was that the real connection to God is outside in nature, right? Our bodies were designed to connect to that life force energy, to God itself, by way of all living things. Okay. I hope this makes sense for you. But what you're doing here, and it's saying like the powerful shift is going to occur. It is happening. Well, by the way, you can see it. That little by little, I want to say the more you awaken, the more you start to realize that you don't want to be a part of the left or the right. You want a middle ground. You want to be connected to one another and to the divine, to nature, and to the way that things were designed to be here, right? A more fulfilling life, a more purposeful life, things like that, right? And that this would include the, no hurting or killing of any God created things, right? But in order for you to help the perspective of the world shift, you need to put down the weight of what they think of you. Okay. I hope that makes sense for you, you guys. I am going to end it there. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you dig the vibe around here. And I will be live this evening. So make sure that you have your notifications set to all if you'd like to be notified when I do go live. I will be doing an all signs reading followed by personal questions if you guys have any questions for the tarot. And I will see you guys then. I love you so much and see you this evening. Mwah.